we got 1 minute. I'm just gonna take a minute and, before we, where's Tony?
I don't know. He hasn't shown up yet.
Okay. Anyway, for those of you that, I didn't see last night, I'll explain, what the, board decided. Won't take too long here, so we can get, Michael into our, competition. Maybe I should wait to the end. Should I wait to the end?
No, I think you should do it at the beginning, so you don't
Okay.
forget about
All
it.
right. So, the good news is that Merrill Gardens is going to allow us back in, to have meetings. We will be required to either, show proof of vaccination at the door or have a negative COVID test and right at the door. And I think we can probably provide those. And then we will all have to wear masks while we're in the building. We decided largely because we need to figure out for 2023 what we will be doing competition wise, and also meeting in person. And so we needed to start trying to do some things. We decided that we would meet in person at Merrill Gardens on the first Wednesday of every month. And we will meet online every month on the third Wednesday. Now, we decided to alternate when we are in person on the first Wednesday. We will have alternate months where we do print comp, and that will be print competition in person in July, September, and November, first Wednesdays of the month. And the other Wednesdays, we will have some kind of program planned in person. And then for our online sessions, which will always be the third Wednesday of the month, we will have digital only competitions. Those will be the alternating months, which will be June, August, October.
Could you make it any more complicated?
Actually, we thought this was maybe the easiest way, since we would always be meeting in person on the first Wednesday and always online on the third Wednesday. Believe me, we had long discussions about how to.
Person, just going to drop slides, but still have.
Yeah, we will no longer have slides.
For the in-person.
For the what?
For the in-person.
Yeah, no more slides, competitions. So anyway, you'll get a full detail on that in the next newsletter. Our first meeting there will be June the 1st, and we're going to have a big pizza party, and with some plan program. Maybe we'll do a swap meet. We haven't quite decided, but big pizza party June the 1st.
So I still have the computer and projector for the club. Can I give that to Greg? Are you going to be at the Saturday breakfast this Saturday?
I won't be there.
Won't be there. Okay.
We actually won't need that, because everything, when we're in person, we will only be judging prints. So we'll need that big light box thing. But the third Wednesdays, when we have competition, that will be digital, and it will still be all WebEx.
Okay.
However, we may need the projector for some of our programs.
Yeah, I'd like to give it to somebody, because I'm not sure how available I'll be in the future. So
Well, I'll be glad to take possession of it, but I can't do it this weekend.
okay, just curious, because I'm going to attempt to make the meeting or the breakfast this Saturday. My wife's out of town, so I'm free.
So now we're
You
having
can always
two.
give it to Tony or Jim, and they can pass it on to me.
Yep.
if you go to the breakfast.
So now we're having 2 competitions per month?
No,
No.
every
One
other month.
competition a month. 1 month will be print. On the first Wednesday, the next month will be digital online. And the next month will be print in person. Then the next month, digital online. So we will always have one competition a month, but on different days of the month and different competition
Well,
images.
I'm still confused. So why are we doing competitions on different days?
Yeah, exactly. Practically, what's happening is that.
I mean, why not just have, just like we had, Wednesdays is competition, 1 month it's prints, 1 month it's virtual. I mean, it's getting confusing.
We don't want to do, we cannot do the online digital at Merrill Gardens because they don't have adequate Wi-Fi. So that creates the problem. We can't do it from there. So then we would have to have in person 1 month, the first Wednesday, and digital the first Wednesday the next month. So that seemed more complicated. It seemed better, it seemed easier to say every first Wednesday will be in person. Show up. Every third Wednesday will be digital. Don't show up. And you'll get plenty of emails that will remind you. So you won't be lost and you can mark your calendars. But for now, just get that in your brain. Every first Wednesday, we will be meeting in person at Merrill. I wish you would have been there, Jim. I promise you, it wasn't an easy solution. We had many, many ideas and discussions.
And then this is only temporary through the end of the year. And then we
Yes.
decide if it works or not.
Thank you. That's true, Alan. Okay, we are 7 minutes past 7. And Tony's not on yet.
Nope, I'm texting him now.
Okay. Did you understand all that, Michael Collins?
I did.
Okay.
First Wednesday of the month in person, third Wednesday of the month is online, and the second Wednesday of the month is everybody gives me $10.
There you go.
Sounds
Hey,
like a
got
plan.
it.
Tony says he's connecting.
Good. Anybody else have any news? Chuck, you're not going away or leaving us or?
I was telling them before you got on that I just moved my daughter to North Carolina. She got a job in the emergency department down in near Charlotte. We bought her a house down there, so there's a chance that we might be moving closer to her. See how she likes it there, and so far she loves it. And she was working in the emergency room in Chicago for about the last year. Had an interview the day before we signed papers on the house, and she got a job offer within 3 hours. So
Wow.
she's working there and loving it.
Do you know the name of the hospital? Because I know a lot of them there.
Harrisburg?
She's in Harrisburg?
Uh-huh. It's in the kind of a freestanding ER.
Okay. Very nice. Very good.
Yep.
So you're not going to move there. Are you just going to go visit, or what's the?
Well, we're going to visit a lot, but my wife wants to move there. So if I want to stay married, I'm probably going to have to move too.
My 3 sisters live in Raleigh, and
Oh, okay.
in fact, I'm headed there this weekend. And yeah, so it's lovely that mid North Carolina area is lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife's there right now, getting my daughter's house set up, and we just shipped her horse out there, picked him up yesterday, so he should be arriving maybe by this weekend. So unload that beast and my daughter take care of him finally.
Good. Well, I hope we have you here for a little while longer.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know why
even
you
if
just
you,
didn't
if,
ride
even
the
if
horse
you
across
move, maybe
the-
you can join us virtually every other month
There you go.
Or-
Or digital.
or every month, whether it's competition or.
If I can stay awake that long, I'll be later.
That's true, there's a time difference, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Tony.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot I
Okay.
turned the computer off.
So you secured our judge, Michael Collins. Can you do a little intro?
Newsletter. Hang on, I've got to open. I shall read from his bio
There you go.
if I can get it open. Where are we?
You got, we can't see everybody.
Huh?
You made the windows bigger, we can't see.
Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. I'm just reading from Michael's bio, and basically it says Michael Collins has been a professional photographer for over 25 years and has served on the board of directors for the Professional Photographers of California, becoming president in 2007 and 2008. Michael is a professional photographer of America's Master Craftsman, certified professional photographer, has earned the Professional Photographers of California Service Award with 17 additional bars, the California Master Degree, Fellowship Award, Business and Arts Degree, Evans Kingham and National Award. He won the PPC People's Choice Award in 2013. And he's given us the honor of judging for us several times before. So I would like to welcome Michael to our little competition.
Well, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Good to be seen again.
Yes, all the way from Idaho.
All the way from Idaho. Yep. Almost past my bedtime here.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me for a second.
Okay, Michael, did you want to add anything to that introduction, or should we just move into the competition?
Move in and get it on.
Okay.
Let's get it on. Clipboard.
Look at the desk. Are we doing color or black?
I'm going to start with color.
Okay.
And what I'll do, Michael, is step through them first so everybody gets a chance to see what the competition is tonight. There are 19 images in color.
Start a video. Background. Holy and cacti. Start my video.
Okay, scorekeepers, if you want to announce the name of each file, and then Michael can give us his comments.
Okay. Are you going, Penny, or am I?
I'll let you go. I'll do mono. Thank you.
Okay. This is titled Barn with Tin Roof.
And I scored this a 17. Really enjoyed the image, had a lot of great impact when I first saw it. I love the gas pump sitting at the front of the barn. It really jumps out and makes you take a second look at it. I would like to see a slightly different angle, maybe rotate it counterclockwise, about an eighth of a turn to a quarter of a turn. So you see a little bit more of the front. But overall, I thought the impact on this was really cool. The color balance is fantastic. The clouds, everything. And I scored it a 17.
Capturing Valley View.
Now, I was sent the larger size image on this one.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not displaying bigger.
Okay. I scored this an 18. I really love the impact of it, the color harmony, really beautiful composition here, showing Yosemite Valley. The one thing that held me back a little bit was it seemed like it might have been over sharpened, over processed, where it's a little bit crunchy when I saw the big one. I like the sharpness in the rocks on the left. And then having that one person standing there on the bottom left just made it just a little bit more interesting and humanizing. I scored it an 18.
Capturing, let's see, this is iconic Valley Oak. Sorry.
I scored this a 14. I love oak trees. I love to see them. Beautiful clouds behind there, but the time of day that was shot just didn't have a whole lot of impact. Half the or three quarters of the tree is missing leaves and just starting out, it looks like, on the left hand side. The right hand side of the tree is still bare. It just didn't have the wow factor for image competition. Color harmony, the color balance between the grass, the sky. Some of the grass is missing on the right hand side. I don't know if you want to fill that in Photoshop, or like the left hand side of the tree, there's a couple of, looks like big gopher holes or something where the dirt's showing up pretty hard there.
Inner Glow.
In a glow, I scored a 17. I really enjoyed this image. I liked the mystique of it, how it was presented, having the glow coming from what looks like inside the flower there. It's something very unique. Love the color of the purple coming out. The technique was handled very well. I probably would have gotten rid of the leaf that's on the left-hand side sticking out there, a little bit distracting. Other than that, I thought it was a really pretty image.
Did we, oh yeah. It's a love-hate relationship.
I scored this 18. I thought this was a truly impactful image, really unique. The way it was presented, looks like it's floating in the water. It almost looks like a fishing lure hanging out in the water waiting for a fish to come up and bite it. You have an obvious center of interest, and the lighting on this is just really nice. Um, the green part on the left-hand side could be a touch sharper, but when you got the white flowery part on the front of it nice and sharp, it held its own that way, and I scored it in 18.
Night bus to Marrakesh.
I scored this a 16. This is a cool shot. The only thing that held me back was the bus driver's arm is moving so much. It shows us low light, but it almost looks like he's time traveling, going through a warp there, and it was really cool. I love the purples. I love the lighting on the driver of the bus. I just wish his arm and his hands were sharp, and it would have been a much better image that way. The color's beautiful, and again, the storytelling's fantastic, looking like he's going through warp speed there.
Sunset in layers.
I score this a 17. Really pretty sunset. The top of the top mountains has a haze going through the top of it for just a little ways. That's a little bit distracting that way. I love the color harmony, the oranges and the blues all coming together. And then when you get to the second ridge, there's like a dark line on the left-hand side at the top of the ridge that kind of, it's a little bit distracting. I'm not sure if that's natural, if that's how it was enhanced, but that kind of distracts from it. And then on the far left, it looks like a little bit of halo in the valley on the second ridge, and then on the very end of the second ridge there.
Waves of fun.
I scored this a 14. The color is beautiful. The kids are having fun, having a good time in the water, but you can't see enough of their faces. They're in shadow so much because of the super bright background. The camera exposed for that, and it's hard to get both the kids and the waves balance out. It's really hard, and I understand that. Had they been a little bit brighter, I might have scored a little bit higher, but there's great snapshot, but it's not a image comp image. I hate to be mean about it, but that's kind of how I feel. It's cool that you caught the splash and the water droplets flying in the air and the wave pounding behind them, but they're kind of the center of interest, not the waves, and so they need to have a little bit more light on them, a little bit better exposure.
Camellia.
This is really pretty. I think it's a beautiful image. I scored it an 18. Um, the color harmony is fantastic. It's a nice, soft pastel. Um, the tips of the purple part or pink part are nice and sharp. The rest of it goes really soft. Um, I could probably be listening to Kenny G while I'm looking at this flower and just kind of zone out in it. Kind of showing my age there, aren't I? But I scored it a 18.
Old lens.
I scored this one a 17. Um, I love the technique that's applied here. The very crisp, sharp focus in the very end of it, and then going off to the very soft. Um, I wish the lettering was just a touch sharper so that you can see the detail in the letters a little bit better. You can see the age on the front of the lens there, and on the around the outside of the edge, the bottom part especially. The top part's a little bit soft. The bottom part is nice and sharp though. Um, and it's appropriately titled Old Lens because it's definitely an old lens.
Point Wilson Lighthouse.
I scored this a 17. It's got a painterly effect to it that just draws you right into there. Um, you want to really get up close and see if it's painted or if it's a photograph. The mountains in the background just look so peaceful and tranquil. And then the lighting on the lighthouse and the building, nice warm glow. The windows might be a little bit bright on the White House, or the White House, the lighthouse. I guess it's a White House too. Um, if you tone those down a little bit, I think it would score just a little bit higher. And then tone down the TV antennas on the house on the right-hand side there. Beautiful image.
This is another one that Jeannie replaced. That's why they're showing up small.
This is Sandhill Cranes at sunrise.
I have the bigger image on my computer.
I didn't receive it.
Sorry about that. We're going to spank Jeannie's hand after the competition. I scored this 19. I thought this image was just beautiful with the purples and the oranges and the warm tones, the birds flying through, and then also the birds in the lake. Very beautiful image, well done. The birds are sharp, the water is soft. It's just a really beautiful image, and I scored it a 19.
Say a little prayer for me.
I scored this 15. When it first came around, it was super impactful. I love that bug sitting there. Um, and then when you get just a little bit deeper into the picture, into the flower is so soft and the bug is so sharp that it just it plays with your mind a little bit. In the bottom left, there's a bit of a bright spot in the leaves that could be toned down a little bit so it's not distracting. And then on the bottom right, there's a line going diagonally down from the flower to the outside edge, and that needs to be toned down a little bit too so it's not drawing you away from the bug. If the flower was sharper, I would have scored it a little bit higher because that's a cool shot.
Trawler reflection.
I also scored this a 15 as well. It's a cool shot, and when you first look at it, the blues just kind of draw you in right into the water as well. The back end of the boat is a little bit tight on the right hand side to the edge, so it's a little bit causes a little bit of tension there, but the rest of it is just beautiful. um, I'm not sure if it's crystal clear sharp or if the trees in the background were the sharpest part. It looks like it might have back focused on the trees a little bit and not the boat, but I love the colors of it. I love the rust on the boat that harmonizes with the blue in there as well.
Trees on the Merced.
This is a very beautiful shot. I scored an 18. Um, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I like the nice warm tones. The time of day was done very nicely because it looks like either early morning or late afternoon. Um, the trees stand up because of the darkness behind. It might almost be a little bit too dark in almost to the area of black where it's kind of locking up a little bit in blacks, but the exposure on the trees is fantastic. Um, you can't help but just kind of be drawn in and wish you were on your canoe right now, just kind of cruising down the stream right here and just enjoying life. Beautiful image. Scored an 18.
Ukraine's secret soldiers.
I scored this 17. I thought it was cute. It was a great story. A nice split image with the helmet top on his head. Um, somebody's very creative with what they did. Some of the lighting needs to be toned down a little bit, especially on the outside, maybe a slight vignette to draw your eye in a little bit more. And the right side of the face looks like almost like a skeleton or the skull, and then the left side, our left, looks more like a face. A little bit creepy there, but it's a cool idea, cool concept, and I gave it a 17.
Fine dining.
I scored this an 18. The image is beautiful. The drawbacks, the bird itself looks like it's painted, and the water looks like a photograph. So it kind of a dichotomy there where you gotta, is it painted or is it real? Is it live or is it Memorex? So it's a little bit distracting there. Um, but I thought it was really cool capture. You got the bird eating, I don't know if that's a crawdad or what it is, but you can see him just scarfing him up out of the water. Um, had it been either all painted or all photo, it would have scored even higher. I scored it an 18.
Looped.
I scored this a 16. Um, it's an interesting image. I was trying to figure out, because there's no shadow underneath the base of the loop, and then you have a lot of distractions in the background. I was kind of hoping that the loop would have the picture of the tiles or whatever that is kind of coming into the loop so that you could see what it's looking at. I love the colors. I love the blues in the tiles. The background, if you can cut off just a little bit of that, and then the horizon line on, I don't know if that's a desk or a table or whatever, it looks like it's dropping off to the right there. So the left side's a lot higher than the right side, so it's a little bit off balance. So I scored that as 16.
Woodshed.
And the woodshed, I scored this a 17. I love the colors. I think without the wood, I would have loved it a whole lot more because the wood pile there is a little bit distracting to me, where the whole story right here is the wall and then the door. I mean, the colors on the door are just dynamite. I love the colors standing out from the wood colors as well. Um, really pretty image, but you got the stack of wood there going, okay, it's a woodshed, but without that, I think it would be a wicked cool image. It would be an art piece without the wood there.
Okay, we have some ties. We need to look at number 2, capturing Valley View. Number 5, it's a love-hate relationship. Number 9, Camellia. And number 15, Trees on the Merced.
You couldn't make this easy on me, could you?
Well, and
There's
there's one more, Fine
Number
Dining,
17.
number 17. So from these 5 images, we need to pick a second, a third, and a honorable mention.
Second place, I believe it's called Love-Hate Relationship.
Okay.
This one.
That's the one. Third place, I'm going to go with Camellia. and honorable mention trees.
Okay. We got it.
Oops.
Barn with Tin Roof by Larry Decker.
I do agree with Michael that red gas pump is great.
It's beautiful.
Capturing Valley View by Jeannie Sparks. Iconic Valley Oak by Gregory Doudna. Inner Glow by Alan Upshaw. It's a Love-Hate Relationship, second place by Elaine Calvert. Night Bus to Marrakesh by Ed E. Paul.
Today's a perfect day for that, being 420.
Yeah.
Sunset in Layers by Cheryl Decker. Waves of Fun by Penny Powell. Camellia and third place by Elaine Calvert.
Keep going, Elaine.
Old Lens by Alan Upshaw. Point Wilson Lighthouse by Penny Powell. Sandhill Cranes at Sunset and first place by Jeannie Sparks. Say a Little Prayer for Me by Larry Decker. Trawler Reflection by Cheryl Decker. Trees on the Merced by Ed E. Powell and our honorable mention. It's beautiful. Ukraine's Secret Soldiers by Gregory Doudna. Fine Dining by Jeannie Sparks. Looped by Alan Upshaw. And Woodshed by Larry Decker.
Here's my hand to slap, Michael.
I'm not the one to slap you. You sent it to me. You just didn't send it to them.
Well, I sent it out to the email. I sent the regular thing to, but I sent it late, and Tony told me last night, hey, your images were small, so it was it was too late to get things done.
Elaine, I'm sorry, but we don't need the two honorable mentions.
Pardon?
We have only one honorable mention. We don't need two.
Well, we came awfully close to getting to have two. We only had 19 entries.
Okay.
We get
Sorry.
one for every 10.
No,
so
yeah.
Darn, if we would have had one more, we could have had two honorable mentions.
I never remember if it was 15 or 20. Okay, sorry.
Okay, shall we move on to monochromes?
Big chance. Just like that.
Okay.
This is titled Alice Keck Park Infrared IR.
I scored this a 16. Very interesting take on a landscape using infrared. It makes all the greens just explode out of there. Really cool shot. You got foreground, midground, and background in here. The only drawback is right dead center in the middle. You got a small family walking through the image. And then at the very top, the tree, the top palm tree is kind of cut off. There's a little bit left up there that could have had just a little bit more room up there, either camera angle or the cropping could be a little bit looser. So you got the rest of the tree in there, a little headroom for it. I scored it as 16.
Dancing for the Sheikh Moza.
I scored this as 17. I'm an eye person, so I always get drawn into the eyes. I wish they were just a touch brighter and maybe a little bit of skin retouching to make her a little bit softer without losing the detail in the skin. This lady has some beautiful eyes just staring right at you, but the pupils and the iris are so dark, there's hardly any detail there, and that would help it a whole lot. Just a little bit more detail in the eyes, because that's what you want showing. 17.
Different preoccupations.
That was a unique capture there. It's kind of funny that both the couple and the single guy are like, hey, wait a minute. And I don't know, is the guy on the left holding the girl's purse? I can't tell. Anyway, cool capture, good eye to see that, and title it appropriately. I scored it a 16. Just a couple of minor little things, but not anything major to draw your eye away from things. Just trying to figure out what she's holding. I don't know if that's a liquor bottle in her right hand and his cheek in her left. I can't tell what that is. But it's a cool image, just shows today's society. You could be making out next to the guy on the phone. He doesn't even notice you.
A Purisima.
I scored this 17. This is a cool use of infrared. I've photographed this place I can't tell you how many times, and it's just I've never thought of it this way using infrared. If you could lighten just a little bit under the eave there behind the pillars, that would be really cool. So you can see a little bit more detail there, and maybe just a touch of bring the shadow up under the tree, so it's not so stark and dark. That's a cool image. I've never thought about using infrared out there.
P.O. Box RFD.
I scored this 15. I like the leading lines of the fence leading up to the boxes, and then the boxes themselves. It looks like a little bit of ghosting around the flag of the first box there. It's like a dark shadow all the way around it. Kind of makes me wonder about the processing a little bit on this image. A perfect address would have been 5150 instead of 5050, but that's just the ex-cop coming out of me. For those who don't know, 5150 is crazy person. So it's a cool shot. I love the leading lines. It's just a lot of distractions in the background there. So scored it a 15.
Okay. Spokes in an old iron wheel.
I scored this 18. I liked that the maker went outside the box and saw something different out of something unusual. most of us have probably walked by this and go, yeah, whatever. But the maker, the person that shot this, saw it and should be commended for seeing it and then making it into an image that could be an art piece, that I'm sure that a farmer would definitely buy. So I scored it a 18.
Tammy, number 1.
Tammy number 1 scored a 16. Uh-oh. My cat just jumped on my keyboard. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm back.
Now it's a 21.
The face is well lit, split lighting on the face, great job there. The rest of the body, down the lower half of the body, goes into darkness, and it almost reminds me of a crime scene. The look in her eyes is just kind of staring at me, almost like a crime scene. Um, Need just a little bit of an expression in the eyes and in the mouth to make this image go. Um, the highlights are handled well, a little bit dark on the shadows on the right hand side, but it's a really cool, unique image.
Bridge over the river liner.
I scored this a 16. Cool bridge. This is one where you just want to, you're walking down, you can smell the trees and you can hear the river as you're walking over the bridge. It needs just a touch more contrast. It's sepia toned here. You lost a little bit of contrast in the image. Push the whites a little bit, push the darks a little bit, so you get a little bit more contrast in there. Beautiful image. I don't know if you needed the sepia here or not, but it's beautiful. And I wish I was walking down that street or this road right now, because just out there in nature.
View from 30 Rock.
I scored this a 16. When I first saw it, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then the textures in the, especially in the sky, it's a little bit distracting. I think this would do better without the texture in there. It makes it look old-timey, but it also has a lot of imperfections in the sky, which draws your attention away from the important part, which is the buildings and the lighting on the buildings. And really cool image. I wish I would have shot that myself, but I scored it a 16.
Nude study in infrared.
I scored this a 17. I thought it was cool to show the various shapes of the body using shadows. Be very, very careful when you use shadows, because they can go to almost black, to where you have zero detail whatsoever. The texture on the body kind of looks like old-time film, high-speed film, maybe 3200 film. And it's got a really cool flair to it, and you got the different shapes of the body there, and it's interesting. You don't need a head on the body to show the artwork of the human form, and I scored this a 17.
Waiting.
I scored this a 14. I understand that she's waiting there, but I'm trying to figure out the connection between the page or the print here and the lady waiting with their cell phone. And then I'm moving over to the left, finding the purse, and then coming back. And I go between the three, and I don't really have a landing spot, some center of interest. The exposure was well handled. The blacks were well done. The whites are well done. but the storytelling is just a little bit off to me. And I scored it a 14.
Okay, thank you. We've got 3 ties. Number 2, Dancing for the Chic Moza. Number 4, La Purisima. And number 10, Nude Study in Infrared. And from these to choose second, third, and honorable mention.
I would go with La Purisima number 2, Dancing for the Chic number 3, and the Nude is honorable mention.
Very well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready.
Where am I?
You're at home.
Yeah.
I think I still have things selected. Yes, I do. Okay. Oops, come on. Drag over. There we go.
Yep, there you go. And this is Alice Keck Park IR by Tony Martindale. Dancing for the Chic Moza, third place by Eddie Powell. Different Preoccupations by Cheryl Decker.
Mike, is this a PJ shot for SIPA or?
I was going to ask you separately, but yeah, I would, if this was not staged, I would say this would be a good PJ shot.
Was not staged. I sat in Paris Park for hour and a half.
No, I like it. I think
Did the guy with the phone ever move during that hour and a half?
He is actually with that couple.
Did he kiss the girl?
No.
The
Oh,
reason he doesn't have a girl on his lap is he's
yeah, they
staring
were
at his
like
phone all
making
his
out
life.
there, the guy and the girl. But then this third guy, he was with them, but he was letting them do their thing. It was just, they were interesting. Interesting.
He's the chaperone.
Yeah, there
They
you
couldn't
go.
see him because of the camouflage pants.
This is La Purisima, second place by Elaine Calvert. Let's see. P.O. Box RFD by Gregory Doudna. Spokes in an Old Iron Wheel in first place by Penny Powell.
Yay, Pooster.
Hey, Betty.
Yeah.
She's the greatest.
Okay, Tammy number 1 by Jim McInnes. Bridge Over the River Liner, Tony Martindale. View from 30 Rock by Jim McInnes. Nude Study in Infrared, an honorable mention by Tony Martindale. Waiting by Jim McInnes.
Tony, the nude is from a film.
Yes, it's a Kodak high-speed infrared film,
Yeah, okay.
which they don't make anymore.
No, because I see the grain. It was typical of the film. So
Yes, yeah.
They put on a good effect on there with the grain and everything.
Yeah.
It worked really well.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
stuff was so grainy.
Just part of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No added grain.
With infrared, you don't need it.
Light in your navel.
Yes, yeah. That was my ex-wife. Yeah. Thank you.
Some really good work there. That's amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Every time I judge for Santa Maria, it's like I'm embarrassed how good you guys are compared to my stuff. It's like, ugh.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, we've seen your stuff. You've got great
I think
images.
we're always our own worst critic.
Absolutely.
This is true. Yeah. Although I've seen some judges that have been my worst critic too.
Well,
The ones who argue down the points.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me.
Michael, are you taking any excursions for further photos? I know you've been to Yellowstone and Africa. And
I'm taking a short break right now. I just got a part-time job to help pay for some of these excursions that I used up. So I got invited back to Yellowstone next winter again. We have an old prison here that I want to go photograph. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks when it's nice and warm, I'll go in there and photograph that place.
You just can't get away from that law enforcement. Just want to be.
It's 30 years ingrained in me. So yeah, I can't get out of it.
what are you going to be doing part-time?
I'm working for Sportsman's Warehouse, which is a hunting fishing store. Pretty big size, like size of Big Five, I guess.
Mhm.
Cashier, customer service. No
You'd
responsibility
be in the
whatsoever.
gun department.
They've already got plenty of people in the gun department, so everybody wants to be in the gun department. And then after a month on the job, I can get a discount
On your guns?
on everything, guns, ammo, and it's kind of weird because there's no waiting period to get your gun here. You don't have to beg, borrow, and steal to get ammo. You just walk up, put it on the counter, and pay for it if you're of age.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Unlike California.
Idaho is a little more consistent with our constitution than California is.
About I don't know, 30 years ago when I was still in my residency, I was looking for where I wanted to practice, and Larry and I were in Boise, and I went by the hospital there, the main one near the downtown area, and I just sort of talked a little bit with the head emergency medicine physician there, and I said, so we talked about what kind of patients they saw there, and I said, well, do you see much trauma here? And like penetrating trauma, which is knife and gun stuff. And he said, well, not really. He said, they come in dead here. we don't resuscitate any of them.
Why did they have an ER? They only needed a morgue.
Yeah. We've got a good trauma center here in Boise. I guess it's got a really good reputation from what I hear, so you need to come up here and join us.
It's too cold.
Been up there. Penny and I have been to
We were looking in
the
the summer, and we
old
went back
prison
in
up
the
there.
winter, and she didn't like it as much.
It's cold in the wintertime, but you just don't go outside.
Yeah.
Or you just put a jacket. If it's not windy, it's not bad.
Mm.
I mean, it's like they say a dry heat and a dry cold. Well, that's kind of it. I put a lightweight jacket on and go outside. I'm fine at 30 degrees. Where in California at 50 degrees, you're putting a parka on
Yeah.
because of the wind coming in off the ocean. You feel like you're going to freeze. You start teeth chattering. Here is, okay, lightweight jacket.
The humidity makes a big difference.
Oh, it does. I never believed that before.
Yeah, we used to live in the Midwest, and you'd go out and shovel your driveway and you'd be sweating because it'd get too warm.
You shovel your driveway, and then when you get done, the snow starts again. Not fun. That part I don't like.
No.
So we went to the prison. I have a picture from prison.
I've always wanted to go to Yellowstone in the winter, though. That's been
It's
on my
beautiful out here
bucket
in the
list.
wintertime. And I got to go to Yellowstone, which is like 5 hours away, and spend 2 days photographing in the snow with the bison and all the animals, and the landscape is just gorgeous out there.
Oh shit! This is the last. Here we go.
Yeah, just for everybody's
Volcano
interest.
comes up. Yeah.
We make it bigger.
I don't know.
Does
If we can
everyone
make this
know
bigger, I
Michael
can show you a
has-
photograph I made at the Idaho prison there in Boise. You said you were going there?
I want to go there. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to zoom in. This is an album cover I did for Peter Preston and the inmates, and that's the I don't know if you can even see it.
It's on virtual background.
Oh, we can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
can see
he's got
part
the
of it.
jailhouse rockers dancing in the background, and doing his bass thing.
That was at the old penitentiary.
Yeah,
That was a super cool place.
Yeah.
You could spend a whole day
I'm looking
there.
forward to it. I want
Yeah, we
to go
spent
there with
several
my
hours
wife
there.
and then go out there with other photographers who can appreciate the time that I'll spend because she'll get
Exactly.
bored.
Yeah, they're not doing hangings there anymore, so we were kind of disappointed with that.
No, we weren't.
We showed up to see the hanging, and they said, "Well, we don't budget cuts." So
You could have jumped into the news for the sake of the photo. I mean, come on, you got to sacrifice.
there were people who encouraged me to do that.
Your wife.
She's one of them.
Yeah, be sure to take your tripod because it's pretty dark in some of the cell areas that you'll want to photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did everything without a tripod there, but they will let you carry them around, and you can go on a tour, or you can roam around on your own, which is what we did. We enjoyed it a lot. I would go back. We went down to the old Yuma Penitentiary down in Southern California, actually it's to Arizona, southwest corner of Arizona. Quite disappointing compared to Boise.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got a friend that wants to go out and photograph with me. So take my wife the first time, explore, and then take my camera and go play.
You'll have fun.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of opportunities there.
Way cool.
For everyone's interest, Michael has a Photoshop program almost every Tuesday, and it's available on YouTube. It has a channel on YouTube as well, which is always very helpful for tuning up on that.
Good teaching on
Yeah.
Photoshop.
So good job, Mike. We're enjoying that.
Thank you. We got about 150 episodes on YouTube right now, and it's live every Tuesday, 1 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock my time. And it's free. You're more than welcome to join in anytime you want. I think you guys get the email, right? Larry and Cheryl and Jeannie, you guys get the email, so you can pass on to the club, and anybody's welcome to join. It's free to everyone, and
Thank you.
we cover a variety of subjects.
Yeah. And if you do a search on YouTube under Mike's name, you'll see all of the programs that he's recorded. Like I said, more than 100.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fun. And if you want to take a week-long class, I'm teaching a class at West Coast School in June. A little over $1,000, which includes room and board and tuition for the class, down at the University of San Diego. West Coast School is just it's photographers' paradise. It's like a summer camp for photographers.
And you're going to do Photoshop emphasis in your course.
Yeah, Photoshop 0 to 60 in a week. Show all the tools and how to use them and the proper way to use them and some shortcuts. Good time. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys for letting me judge for you tonight.
Well, thank you for
Thank
judging
you
for
for
us. We
giving us
Thank you for
appreciate it.
taking the time to judge for us. We really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Yep.
very appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for coming in and doing the job. That's great.
I miss doing it in person. That's a whole lot
Yeah.
different, but I won't be able to do it in person for you for a while.
Well, then,
You can always invite us up.
This is true. Have you looked at the price of flights lately? It's almost. I flew to San Diego last November for a wedding, $350. And as of today, I think the cheapest flight was $900.
Wow.
Yeah, and skyrocketing. It's going up almost every day now.
Well, with gas
Might as well
prices
take a-
going up, it's
Take
Yeah.
a skyrocket.
My daughter was getting flights to Chicago in 2020 for $34.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah, she was going back and forth a lot because they were just so cheap.
Well,
Cheaper to
yeah,
just
why
sleep on a
not?
plane and rent an apartment.
Yeah.
Well, I flew flew to Africa last summer for $700. Or flying home was 700 one way. The other way was $11.50. But it used up all my points.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Fun trip. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Well, folks, I'm gonna formally call an end to the meeting if you want to stay on and chat.
I have one thing I would like to get some feedback on. I've tried to contact the library people, and I contacted the person that I had on my list for contacting, and she no longer works there. So I sent an email to, I think it's Sarah Voss. She's one of the big monkey mucks, and it was returned undeliverable because I'm not in the loop. I found out who the new librarian is, and I sent an email to her, and I've got no response. So I'm of a mind to say, well, screw it, let's just go make the change. And I'd like to do that. Maybe give me an idea which you would prefer, either Saturday the 30th, that's the last Saturday this month. The library opens at 10, we could go in at 10, get it done and get out and be out everybody's way, or the following Saturday, which would be the 7th, I think, of May, 7th. Yeah, that'd be my last chance to do it because we're going to leave on the 14th. Well, actually, we could leave on the afternoon of the 14th, couldn't we? So yeah, either the 30th, the 7th, the 30th of this month, 7th, or the 14th of next month to do that. Anyone here who's interested in being a part of that, do you have a preference for the date? And I'll see if I can get that out to the club membership if we can agree on a time to do it.